The sixth speaker at the 2018 La Trobe Business School Innovation in Food and Agribusiness Forum is Joe Manariti, General Manager from LaManna Premier Group, or LPG. Joe's presentation is entitled Supply Challenges and Consumer Expectation. Joe's case study offers insights into innovation and research for disease for the different fruit and vegetable varieties from LPG Group's experience. LPG is one of Australia's largest fresh produce supply chain companies with an annual turnover of in excess of $500 million. LPG continues to invest heavily in research and development, funding new frontiers in horticulture, packaging and cold transport and distribution. The focus is on its people, skills and training, and sustainable farm solutions, strategic partnerships, and reducing pest and disease and food waste. This drives a culture that looks at innovation in protected cropping solutions, resilient fruit and vegetable varieties, and in value adding across the value chain. The company has invested heavily in protected crop solutions, including a $50 million retractable roof greenhouse facility in Lancaster in Victoria. Now this will reduce environmental sustainability in hydroponically grown gourmet tomatoes. This facility extends the growing season by 4 months, reduces pest and diseases, minimises power and water usage, and yields 8 times per square metre more produce than compared to field-grown crops. Please enjoy Joe's presentation.
I guess the topic today, what I'll be talking about is really what's happening in the industry, what we're seeing as wholesalers, as growers, as suppliers, who our consumers are. So it's not just the end retail, understanding our consumers are our growers, our consumers are, all aspects of the industry, all the stakeholders that it impacts, and just really being on track and making the most of the, being on the front foot of innovation, because it's something everyone's talking about, but how do we implement it sustainably? How do we make it commercially viable? So just by way of background, I'll just play a quick clip on LaManna Premier Group and give everyone a bit of an insight as to who we are. So Who is LaManna Premier Group? Well, LaManna LPG, as we're otherwise known as, is a national business. We service domestic and international customers using a diverse range of our categories. Our farming production spans around the country. We've got ripening operations right around the country that act as distribution centres and as ripening facilities. We've got the largest central market presence of any other business of our nature, and that's something that we see as a big link in the innovation space. It gives us the opportunity to bring forward new products to markets, not go through conventional channels or mainstream channels. We're actually a link, has growers or for growers directly to independent retailers, and that's a real strength that we really pride ourselves on. We're a business that has invested very heavily in quality. We're a business that's got 95 years of heritage, and on that, we've invested heavily in quality and technical through our people. That's helped build a bit of grounding and strengthen our grower plans. So through those relationships, we've been able to establish long-term plans for long-term sustainable category plans. A big part of our sustainability and our innovation space comes through our people investment, and we'll touch on that as we go through. But our projects like our graduate program has been really instrumental in cementing our place and our category strengths. So listed in this slide is a brief summary of our key categories in our business. Underpinning all our category plans are our strategies, and a key part of all those strategies is innovation, sustainability. It's what we base the growth in our categories on. So bananas is our largest category. We have farming operations spread throughout the country. We ripen over 130,000 cartons a week through our operations based in capital cities, and we farm, pack and market 20% of the Australian banana industry. So it's a very big part of our business, but it's also one that we see massive opportunity from the sustainability end, but also from the innovation end in terms of marketing. You know, it's not just our conventional space, it's our convenience space. There's a whole range of opportunities where that category is positioned to grow. In our tomato category, we currently have 12.5% market share of that category. It's something we're extremely proud of. It's something we've invested very heavily in. Our tomato category, we've got our own production in South Australia, in Victoria. We've got protected cropping in Lancaster. We've got field cropping in Shepparton. We've built a national distribution network where we have the capability to pre-pack anywhere around the country and really give growers a whole crop offering in terms of marketing their product, and that flows onto the consumer. Our melon category obviously consists of seedless watermelon, honeydews and rock melons. That category is changing and ever evolving. The amount of research and development going into rock melons and long life melons and personal melons, looking at consumer consumption and how we align production with what the consumer actually wants. So there's a lot of exciting research happening in that space, which I'll elaborate further. Our pumpkin category trades in over 20 million kilos per year. There's been a lot of consumer research done into that, where we've looked at, again, our convenience offering. Pumpkin's not the most exciting product in the world. Bit hard to manage, difficult to handle, but if you package it right, if you present it well, give the consumer a shelf life offering, all of a sudden there's real growth in that category. And it's all about listening to our consumer expectations. We talked about our international customers. Citrus is a category that has been massive on the export front. So we've got a very diverse supply base where we've got supply both domestically and international, but we market both domestically and international. And that's been fantastic for our growers and our strategic relationships in that category. We've got our vegetable category there where we consolidate our capsicum and zucchini, cucumber products all together. Our capsicum category has got a market share in Australia of around 28%. Zucchini category is just under 20%. This category has been a real focus of grower alignment, and it shows what can be achieved when you engage growers, knowing what the retail expectations are and bring them together. This category, which we'll touch on down the line, has been really instrumental in reducing the time it takes for product to go from farm to shelf and make it to the consumer's plate. And that's ultimately the goal, is to improve that end experience. Our tropical category. Our tropical category is underpinned by our strategic supply agreements with growers who produce pawpaw, papaya and mangoes. I'm excited to talk about this category today purely because from an innovation point of view, it shows what direct contact in growing regions can do for a category. We established an office in Mareeba, which is a main growing region for those products. And what it's been able to do is to position to draw the link, but bridge the gap between our customers and our suppliers, and really help them understand what are the issues we're encountering, how do we handle peaks and troughs in production, how quickly do we get weather events back to our customers so they can better prepare for their own marketing, and they really buy into the category. LPG service provision category is a very unique offering to our business, and it shows how dynamic our industry really is. Nationally, we've got distribution centres around the country where we offer growers cold chain management, ripening, pre-packing facilities. We're able to, again, bridge the gap between our growers and our customers and help them deliver a better article to the end consumer. Quality and challenges in our industry are endless. The consumer demands dominate the quality expectations that our growers pack to. We're seeing a real shift right now where growers are producing endless quantities of stock, and unless we can align their production to the quality specifications, they're getting a real minimal part of that crop is actually achieving the best possible price. We've invested heavily in our technical team, engage with our customers to try to determine the best way to align those goals and actually upskill our growers. Australia's harsh growing conditions have seen consumer preferences change with climatic events. We've seen the effect of drought in regional New South Wales and how that's shifted our consumers and their purchasing habits. It's become a social media discussion point that we've all seen, no doubt. Consumer awareness is so present these days. Again, with the strength of social media, we saw the impact of listeria outbreaks in rock melons, listeria hepatitis in frozen berries, needles in strawberries, what that does to our industry. One wrong move by one supplier can impact an entire industry. What can we do? What's our role in that? We need to really, Mark touched on the regulation that's on growers and how it's a bit overwhelming. Well, we need to streamline that and work towards having one uniformed approach for all this to be taken in board. We also recognise there's a large disconnect between our growers and our customers. Growers are chasing that premium yield, that premium return, and as a cost to that, they're selecting sturdy, resilient varieties that will enable a successful crop and a high yield. But at times, this comes at a cost of flavour. As a vertically integrated business, we've been focused on bridging that gap to mitigate food waste and bring financial and environmental sustainability to the industry. This is highlighted by, the statistics we've seen. The economic cost on the amount of waste we're seeing in our industry is phenomenal. You look at these numbers, $940 billion globally is the cost of food waste. 1 in 5 shopping bags end up in the bin at the end of each year. And then we've got, the flip side to that is we've got global hunger, we've got rising food prices. It's really becoming unsustainable and it needs to be addressed. Sustainability. Sustainability is a core value for our business and is what motivates our category plans, and it's driven the following initiatives listed above. Direct off-farm production. So as growers, we're very closely with our operations to upskill them, but also we've worked with our strategically aligned growers to ensure the best possible pack is achieved off-farm. The result of this is that we're getting the end product to the consumer faster, they're getting a better experience. We've achieved this through training up quality officers direct off-farm, upskilling growers and the team in their packing shed. That might mean installing someone on site for a period of time. We've delivered crate and retail specific packaging direct to growers, whereas previously this was all consolidated in capital cities. This alone has meant one touch on produce, again, delivering a better outcome for growers. We've aligned our transport relationships with our grower relationship to achieve commercially viable rates. At the end of the day, financial sustainability is a massive issue for our industry, and it's important that we address that. Environmental sustainability. We've worked very closely with government departments to look at our capital city distribution centres. We've installed LED lighting in all those operations and improved energy efficiencies. We've worked closely with strategic partners like Toyota to reduce gas forklifts on site and make the switch to electric forklifts. We've also helped use that relationship to address safety concerns in our industry. Toyota's implemented recently claw stackers that reduce manual handling risks. We've worked closely with packaging partners to make a shift to crates to reduce our cardboard carton waste and obviously reduce cost at farm level. We've also worked very aggressively with Food Bank to reduce food waste. Food Bank's an organisation that does tremendous work. They work with about 710,000 people per month who are underprivileged, and to date this calendar year, LPG's provided almost over 60,000 meals to underprivileged people, and we've been doing this by just supplying out of spec edible produce. Nothing wrong with the product. It just doesn't meet our retailer specifications. Sustainable farming. This has been a key driver for all our categories and something that we're extremely proud of. You saw the tail end of that video. There was our Lancaster operation just outside of Shepparton. This project is the first of its kind in Australia. It's an environmentally sustainable growing facility. It minimises the use of water, minimises the use of power by harnessing the power of the sun's light. Cravo has the ability to increase quality yields, consistency of quality through protected cropping, and has been able to manage temperature fluctuations through a retractable roof. The Cravo technology has allowed us to expand our season by 4 months in that region, also improving employment for the area. In addition to increasing yield, less water is required on farm, and it also has reduced fertilisation costs. Further innovation in technology in that site there alone has allowed us to install a pipe and rail project, which allows for more efficient packing and harvesting in that site. This has reduced OH&S risk and safety for staff on site. So again, looking at the whole sustainability picture, yield, quality, employment, it's making farming sustainable on all counts. Innovation. We've worked collaboratively with growers, consumers, as I've mentioned, but we've done a lot of consumer research to understand what's happening in certain categories where we're seeing diminishing sales and what we can do to work with either our growers to correct that and readjust that. One product that we've invested heavily in is Tuscan melons. This is a unique melon where the flesh of the melon changes from green to gold at farm level, so before it's even picked. So you're taking out the whole issue of growers picking too early, too late. The product is striped skin, so it presents well, it's a point of difference, it's unique. The Tuscan melons offers a consistent flavour for a consumer, and all of a sudden you're seeing repeat purchases. So a category that was probably seeing a bit of stagnant growth is seeing improvement. Another variety which we've invested heavily in is Warrigold. Warrigold is exclusive to LPG. So the Warrigold pumpkin is shaped like a Kent pumpkin, and it is, has the internal texture and colour like a butternut pumpkin. So the consumer research into pumpkin has highlighted that pumpkin is difficult to work with, and consumers are time poor and demand convenience. In response to this feedback, the Warrigold is a win-win for both growers and customers. The skin is not susceptible to etching during cold weather, therefore the season is longer, the yield is higher, so growers are automatically interested in growing. The variety is natural trait as a small seed cavity and a large volume of edible flesh. Again, appeals to consumer, not taking home a hollow pumpkin, they're eating the whole piece. Further research into pumpkin has highlighted that consumers are chasing the quantity they want. No one likes waste. We're moving away from waste. No one likes buying something and throwing it away. The average weight of purchase for a pumpkin is 1 kilo. The average pumpkin on a shelf is 3 to 5. LPG has developed a painted cut and wrap solution which will provide customers with their ideal weight, being 1 kilo 700 grams, and 10 days of shelf life. We're getting the right quantity, we're buying what we need, we've got no waste. Growers like it, growers are getting the yield, they're getting the outcome they're after. I'll show you some footage of this facility in operation because it's quite impressive. LPG is also leading the charge in innovation against varietal diseases. The devastating soil-borne disease, Panama tropical race 4, otherwise known as TR4, is threatening the continued production of Cavendish bananas in Australia and globally. The disease originated in Asia and is easily transferred through animals, machinery, people. It has already had devastating effects on the Australian industry. The Cavendish variety accounts for more than 40% of global banana production and 90% of banana production. A resistant Cavendish is the only realistic strategy to ensure the future existence of the category of the Cavendish variety. Currently, LPG is working in collaboration with Queensland University to develop a TR4 resistant banana variety to ensure that category continues on. We talk about sustainability and we talk a lot about research, we talk a lot about innovation, and we forget that the biggest challenge that we've got in our industry is our people. Attracting youth to our industry is a massive challenge. In a small competitive market, we require a point of difference. LPG is working towards being an employer of choice. We're working towards leveraging off our generations of experience and knowledge in fresh produce industry. We've recognised the importance in developing our people and for the continual growth of our company. And as employers, we need to provide enriching working environments for our employees. And their demands have changed. Their expectations of a preferred employer has changed. We're investing significantly in our staff and our products. with more opportunity for our people to collaborate with our growers to deliver a better product to our consumers. Young people today want to see a result of their work outside of financial gain in their salary. They want to see the fruits of their labour. Pardon the pun. LPG last year launched the graduate program, and we worked with rural universities with vested interest in agribusiness. The program provided a structured learning and development program, enabling employees to strengthen their work experience with key learning competencies and capabilities required to be an effective leader within our organisation. The graduates were systematically and progressively developed through a series of real job opportunities in our organisation. The graduate experienced work in farming operations, in warehouse operations, in sales, finance, IT, quality, technical, marketing and HR to give them a whole view of our business and what's required. This is a massive focus for our HR team and something that they continue to work with all our business units across the group. So the future. What's the future hold for fresh produce? In my opinion, the future for fresh produce is very exciting. The innovation opportunities are endless. It starts with seeds and variety, consistently searching for the variety which brings the customer new flavours, help keep them engaged, and will make the industry more sustainable for the long term. Changing grower practices to increase yield and will ensure that farming is sustainable financially, but more importantly, will help ensure that growing is actually environmentally sustainable in whatever region that's happening in. The industry needs to continue to search for efficiencies, which gets products to consumers in the shortest possible time. We need to gather data to understand how harvest processes, transportation, and the general retail experience impacts consumer habits and their repeat purchases. This sort of innovation will help attract youth to our industry who long to be part of a dynamic work environment. The statistics are out there, and I'm sure most people in this room know it, that for every one graduate in agribusiness, there are 3 jobs waiting for them. We need to encourage them to get into this industry. Attracting motivated and enthusiastic employees will ultimately drive these improvements. The fresh produce business is no different to any other. Factors like the internet, blockchain, robotics will continue to impact how we do business, but attracting the right people with the right goals and aligning them to the right businesses will deliver an innovative and sustainable outcome for our industry. Thanks very much.